Hi, my name is Aziz Kapadia. Welcome to my course on Azure Fundamentals for Beginners. In this course, we will learn about cloud computing concepts, how to create a free Azure account, Azure portal introduction, basics of Azure command line interface using PowerShell. Basics of Azure DevOps. We will cover some basic Azure services required for running a web application. In this video, we will learn about number 1 cloud concepts, 2 benefits of cloud computing, 3 Azure account types and enterprise account hierarchy, 4 free Azure account creation. Let's start cloud journey with Azure. Introduction. On daily basis, we use many utilities like electricity, water, gas, etc. These services are provided by various service providers. We don't care about the infrastructure and other implementation details of these utilities. For example, when we switch on the electric switch, we expect it to light up the connected bulb. We don't care about how electricity is getting generated or transmitted to our premise. It might be generated using hydroelectric turbine, windmill, or solar panel, which are attached to the central grid. We just care that it gives us desired voltage and amperes required for the equipment. We pay the bill for what we use. Renting services on pay-per-use basis without going into complexity of storage, distribution, maintenance, etc. are the examples of the cloud concept. It is nice to have such benefits available for IT professionals and software service providers so that they can get rid of hassle of maintaining hardware and software infrastructure and could concentrate on more important work of deploying and delivering services quickly and easily. A simple definition of cloud computing is renting and using the IT resources and applications like storage space or CPU power virtually via the internet, which is maintained and provided by the service provider company. We pay only for what we use. These type of service providers are called cloud service providers. These services and infrastructure are deployed in the cloud service providers data centers and can be located at many different regions in the world. We can use it from anywhere in the world using internet connection. Cloud service providers are responsible for hardware, infrastructure, and other software required to provide the services and for their maintenance. We use email services like Gmail, Hotmail, storage services like OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, messaging services, and chatting services like Skype, Zoom, etc. These all are examples of cloud services. Some leading cloud service providers are Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, Google, Oracle, etc. They provide various features and services using cloud, and these services are increasing on daily basis. Cloud services can be categorized in 4 categories: computing power, storage space, networking, and analytics. Computing power is required to run applications such as email processing service, hosting website, processing background tasks, etc. These services can be deployed on virtual machines like Windows or Linux server, or we can use managed services like Azure Web App, Azure Container Service or AKS, etc. In case of virtual machines, we need to install other software such as IIS Web Server, Database Server to run the web application, and we need separate licenses for these softwares and OS. An existing license can be used to install the software and OS. If we use managed services like Azure Web App or Azure SQL Database, then we don't need separate license. There are also some serverless cloud services available wherein processes are not always running, but it only runs by a trigger. It can be triggered by an event such as incoming web request, a new item added to a queue, or a database event occurs. Containers are the isolated virtual environment which runs on a machine and encapsulates all the dependencies and underlying platform to run the application. This lightweight environment provides ability to run many containers on one machine in isolation and doesn't interfere with other containers. So if one container fails, then it won't affect other containers running on same machine. Based on the restart policy, it might restart the container again with same configuration after failure within milliseconds. Second cloud service type is storage space. Most of the software uses a storage system to store data. This data storage provides read and write capabilities. Data can be categorized as structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Structured database system is also called relational database system. This type of data adhere to a database schema, and each type of data entity is stored in separate table. These tables are related to each other using the keys for referential integrity. For example, to store e-commerce application data, we can have various tables like product table, product variations table, order table, etc. Order table would not store whole product data, but it would only include product ID to identify a product. Semi-structured database system does not have separate tables for each entity. Data are stored in different collections. They don't follow a strict schema definition, so data structure can be changed for each item. For example, to store e-commerce application data in semi-structured database system, we can store product and product variation data in one collection. Each product can have different number of attributes and variations. For storing orders, it would use another collection, and it would store whole product and order data such as price, customer delivery address, billing address, discounts, etc. Azure provides various options for semi-structured data such as Cosmos DB, Azure Table Storage, etc. Unstructured data is used to store images, videos, documents, etc. Cloud provides various options for storing these types of data like Azure Blob Storage, File Storage, AWS S3, Google Cloud Storage, etc. Networking services are used for secure connection between cloud service providers' data center and our premises. We can use virtual network to connect to cloud providers DC from our premise. There are some networking services required for the communication between cloud resources such as VM to VM without going out of cloud provider's network. Point-to-site VPN, express route, virtual private networking are some of the networking resources available in Azure. Analytics are used to visualizing and reporting telemetry and performance data. Stored data are used to analyze to get visibility of customer behavior, trends, application failure, automation and reporting. Application insights, Azure Databricks, Power BI are some of the options available in Azure for analyzing and visualizing the data. Let's see what are the benefits of cloud computing. Number one benefit is cost effective. Cloud computing provides a pay-as-you-go or consumption-based pricing model. This consumption-based model has many benefits. No upfront infrastructure cost because cloud provides everything. For some future expansion or for spikes, we don't have to purchase and manage costly infrastructure that may not be used to its fullest capacity all the time. Additional resources can be provisioned as and when required, so we pay for additional resources only when they are needed. The ability to stop paying for resources that are no longer needed. Most of the capital expenditure or capex would become operational expenditures or opex. Cloud provides ability to add more resources by using few mouse clicks. We can have one server running in minutes as opposed to months in case of our own data center. Cloud provides two types of scaling. Number one, vertical scaling or scale up. What does it mean? That we can increase capacity of existing server by adding more CPU cores or CPUs, memory, storage space, etc. No need to add a machine but use existing with adding more capacity to it. Second type of scaling is horizontal scaling or scale out. It means when we add more machine to carry out the work and they function together as a unit. For example, if more incoming requests need to be processed, then we can add more machines and use load balancer to distribute the processing load evenly to all virtual machines. Elasticity. Cloud provides ability to automatically scale up or down capacity of a resource based on the load and utilization. This provides relief from maintaining the resources even when it is not required. Let's consider an example of e-commerce service provider. During Black Friday period, they would need more computing power and resources compared to other time of the year. They would not be using computing power and resources whole year, required only once or twice a year. So during peak period, they can allocate more resources to handle high amount of request load. It can handle daily or occasional spikes in requests. For example, if client runs a promotion for couple of hours during the day, then system gets sudden spike of traffic for couple of hours. We can set up rules to scale up resources if number of requests exceed by the threshold amount. We can also set up rules by CPU utilization. It would automatically add or remove resources using the rules, so we can keep the cost down. Speed and agility. Cloud provides ability to quickly deploy application to cloud and ready to be used in minutes. Using continuous integration and deployment setup, we can deploy new features, enhancements, and bug fixes quickly. New resources can be provisioned with few clicks. New features and enhancements are being released frequently by the cloud service providers. It provides relief from the worry of patching and updates of platform. Security and reliability. It offers various DR replication capabilities. Cloud provides ability to backup data in multiple regions, so data is always safe in case of disaster. Data can be easily recovered from the backup sources. Cloud offers various data encryption and masking capabilities of sensitive data. It also offers various compliance capabilities. They invest heavily in various security mechanisms to achieve high degree of physical and digital security. DCs are equipped with cameras, highly secure and robust infrastructure design, and security devices like biometric scanners on the access points. It provides various tools for authentication to mitigate security threats. Data centers are located in various regions globally. So, with the few clicks, our apps and software can be deployed globally depending on the customer base, which reduces the latency. Next, we will discuss cloud computing deployment models. There are three types of deployment models: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. In public cloud deployment model, whole IT stack is deployed in cloud provider's data center. We don't have to manage any IT resource or software. We can use multiple cloud providers for our services based on the offerings. It also offers flexibility to change service providers whoever is more reliable and cost effective, as we do for our home utilities. A common use case scenario is deploying a web application or a blog site on hardware and resources that are owned by a cloud provider. Using a public cloud allows us to get our website or blog up quickly and then focus on maintaining the site content without having to worry about purchasing, managing, or maintaining the hardware on which it runs. Public cloud provides high scalability and agility since we don't have to buy a new server in order to scale or start new offering. Pay-as-you-go pricing means we pay only for what we use, no upfront capex costs. No need to worry about maintenance or update of the hardware. Minimal technical knowledge is required to set up and use. We can leverage the skills and expertise of the cloud provider to ensure workloads are secure, safe, and highly available. Disadvantages of public cloud. Not all scenarios fit the public cloud. Here are some disadvantages to think about. There may be specific security requirements that cannot be met using public cloud. There may be government policies, industry standards, or legal requirements which public clouds cannot meet. We don't own the hardware or services and cannot manage them as we may want to. Unique business requirements such as having to maintain a legacy application might be hard to meet. Private cloud. Deploying cloud services on the organization's infrastructure and accessing them using virtualization is called private cloud. In a private cloud scenario, whole environment is deployed in organization's own data center. Services can be accessed over internet or using internal network. These services are served only to a particular organization and not available for general public. This is kind of legacy data center but provides public cloud to users. It can be used when organization has legacy system which cannot be deployed in the public cloud due to security reasons. Advantages of private cloud. Private cloud is very secure. It can be used for legacy applications which can't be deployed in public cloud. Organizations have full control over security. It can fulfill strict compliance or legal requirements. Disadvantages of private cloud. Organization has to incur some initial capex cost to purchase the hardware for startup and maintenance. It limits the agility because to scale up we need to buy, install and set up new hardware. Private cloud require IT skills and expertise. Hybrid cloud. It is combination of public and private cloud. It allows to run applications on most appropriate location. System can be broken down to partially deploy software stack in public and private clouds. For example, application can be hosted in public cloud, but highly secure database can be deployed in private data center. This is helpful when a piece of application can't be deployed in public cloud due to security or compliance reason. Another example is one or more legacy application that run on old hardware can't be updated. Some advantages of hybrid cloud are we can keep systems running and accessible that use out-of-date hardware or an out-of-date operating system. We have flexibility with what we run locally versus in the cloud. We can take advantage of economies of scale from public cloud providers for services and resources where it's cheaper, and then supplement with our own equipments when it's not. We can use our own equipment to meet security, compliance, or legacy scenarios where we need to completely control the environment. Some concerns are it can be more expensive than selecting one deployment model since it involves some capex cost upfront. It can be more complicated to set up and manage. Next up is cloud service models. Cloud service models are categorized as IaaS, infrastructure as a service, PaaS or platform as a service, and SaaS, software as a service. Let's understand these service models using pizza as a service example. If we want to have pizza, we have 4 choices similar to cloud service models. First, make pizza at home. Second, buy ready to cook pizza base and bake at home. Third, get pizza delivered at home. And fourth, dine out. Made at home or on premise. We are responsible for everything from preparing dough for base to arranging dining table and soda. In terms of cloud services, we are responsible for networking to application. Take and bake or IaaS. In this scenario, we buy pizza dough, sauce, toppings, and cheese, but bake pizza at home. So we are responsible for gas and other baking related infrastructure, as well as dining table and soda. In case of infrastructure as a service, we only buy cloud services which provides virtual hardware like servers, networks, storage disks, etc. from cloud service provider. We are responsible for installing other software like operating system, patching and maintenance of virtual machines and servers, application and data. Service provider is only responsible for hardware. User base for this type of services is infrastructure and network architects. Next is pizza delivered at home or takeaway. In cloud terminology, it's PaaS. In this scenario, order the pizza from pizza shop and get it delivered at home. We are only responsible for arranging dining table and soda. Compare this with cloud platform as a service model, in which cloud service provider provides infrastructure and platform, but we have to deploy the application and maintain the data. Examples are Azure Web App, Container Services, or AKS, etc. PaaS is mainly used by application developers to deploy the software to be used by end users. Last one is dined out or SaaS. Go to restaurant, order pizza and enjoy it in restaurant. No responsibilities apart from paying the bill. In software as a service cloud model, cloud service provider manages everything. Infrastructure, platform and software. User just use the service and pay the bill based on usage. Some examples are Office 365, Managed SQL Server, Cosmos DB, Azure Storage Services. These services are ready to be used by end users. So we see our responsibility decreases from left to right. Don't get confused with cloud deployment model and cloud service models. Think deployment model as data center, where infrastructure is deployed, which are public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud models. Cloud service model defines what level of out-of-the-box cloud services we are using and what our responsibilities are. Service models are infrastructure as a service or IaaS, platform as a service or PaaS, and software as a service or SaaS. Let's move on to the next topic about Azure Billing and Accounts. In this section, we will explore various account types and how to create free Azure account. To log in and use Azure resources, we need to have an Azure account subscription. If you are running an organization which has multiple departments and each department has multiple users, then you need to create Azure Enterprise Account. Enterprise Account can be managed using Enterprise Portal. The Azure portal currently supports the following types of billing accounts. Microsoft Online Services Program is for individual billing account. Account is created when we sign up for Azure through the Azure website. For example, when we sign up for an Azure free account, which we will see shortly, account with pay-as-you-go rates or as a Visual Studio subscriber. A billing account for an enterprise agreement is created when an organization signs an enterprise agreement. Organization has to contact Microsoft to sign enterprise agreement to use Azure. A billing account for a Microsoft customer agreement is created when an organization works with a Microsoft representative to sign a Microsoft customer agreement. Some customers in selected regions who sign up through the Azure website for an account with a pay-as-you-go rates or upgrade their Azure free account may have a billing account for a Microsoft customer agreement as well. For more information, visit the link provided in description section. A billing account for a Microsoft partner agreement is created for cloud solution provider partners to manage their customers in new commerce experience. For this experience, partners need to have at least one customer with an Azure plan to manage their billing account in Azure portal. For more information, see Get Started with Your Billing Account for Microsoft Partner Agreement link in description. This is a new account type and mainly for third-party service providers and resellers. This is how Microsoft Online Service Program hierarchy looks like. When you create an account, you get a subscription and you can have multiple subscriptions under one account. This slide shows the enterprise account hierarchy. Organization can manage account using Azure Enterprise Portal https://ea.azure.com. Azure Enterprise Portal is an online portal which helps organizations to create an Azure EA hierarchy with departments, accounts, and subscriptions. Reconcile the costs of consumed services, download usage report, and view price lists. Create API keys for the enrollment. Departments help organization to segment costs into logical groupings. Departments enable organization to set a budget or quota at the department level. Accounts are organizational units in the Azure Enterprise Portal. We can use accounts to manage subscriptions and access reports. Subscriptions are the smallest unit in Azure Enterprise Portal. They are containers for Azure service managed by the service administrator. There is a link in the description for more understanding of Enterprise Account. Your billing account for the Microsoft Customer Agreement contains one or more billing profiles that let you manage your invoices and payment methods. Each billing profile contains one or more invoice sections that let you organize costs on the billing profile's invoice. It's time to create Azure account and get hands dirty. For the individual user and to start with Azure, Microsoft provides free Azure account subscription, which has below benefits, and user won't be charged until user choose to upgrade. It can later be converted to pay-as-you-go subscription. It has benefits like 12 months of popular free services, pound 150 in UK and $200 in US, credit to explore Azure for 30 days, always free 25 plus services. Navigate to https://account.azure.com and click on Create Free Account. To create free Azure account, we need to have a Microsoft account. We can associate an existing email account which we have with our other email providers like Gmail or Yahoo, or our own custom domain with Microsoft account, or create new outlook.com, live.com or hotmail.com account. Fill in your personal details like country, first name, last name, email address, phone, and click on next button. Phone number will be pre-populated here, but you can change it and click on text me button to get a verification code. Once you receive the SMS with verification code, enter it in the verification code text box and click on verify code button. Enter your credit card information. Don't worry, you won't be charged until you upgrade account to pay-as-you-go pricing. Accept the agreement and click on sign up button. Microsoft will verify that the credit card is not associated with any other Azure account, and then a free user account will be created. Finally, it will display the page that account is ready and user can log into portal. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button and wait for the next video.